Hey yo, my name is Leon the Lover. I'm about 2 years into my career as a minimal deep tech producer. I want to do a video today to dig into 3 really cool breakdowns and do a bit of a ghost arrangement so I can see exactly what makes them awesome breakdowns and apply it to my own track. All right, so I've got 3 great songs here with 3 fantastic breakdowns. And what I want to do is a ghost arrangement. So I'm going to use blank MIDI clips in an Ableton project here to mark when certain sounds come in or out and try and figure out what the pattern is for what makes an excellent breakdown. So up at the top, you can see I've got Rhythm Import, Close to Custom, Wonka Bar by A Million, and Odd Goblin by Theos. Let me give you just quick hit of Rhythm Import. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the excerpts short so I don't get blocked by YouTube. Yeah, so what I do is, obviously from the waveform you can see the shape of the breakdown here and where the drop is. But if we go in with even more detail and start drawing blank MIDI clips, so you can select an area and hit Shift Command M. Let me zoom in here. Shift Command M, that creates just an empty MIDI clip, which you can then give it a name like, pad. So that's what I've done here is drawn these in and labeled them on the right. So, if there was a cymbal hit, I might put that in here, or I've marked the stabs happening on every measure and where the vocal is. What that helps me do is just understand what the heck is going on here. So obviously with all breakdowns, very common thing is to filter the kick, remove the kick, filter the bass. That gives us like a sense of withholding. As the breakdown goes on longer, you want the kick and the bass back more. Then we've got a clap that continues, a staccato open hat, which kind of keeps the rhythm of the track going. Let's play another clip for a minute. And then we've got stabs and vocals and pads, which either build or withhold something or keep you interested while the breakdown plays. This is the most minimal of these 3 tracks. My observation here is really he's done a lot with just removing elements strategically, and it's amazing how when you get to the actual drop, almost everything is removed except for this little texture and the vocal. And then this vocal at this point almost operates as like a drum fill. It's really the rhythm and the hook of the track, and there's a snare fill. And then we get all the juicy goodness of the bass back. So this is beautiful for its simplicity, this one. A lot of the magic comes from the rhythm of the sliced vocal, but that's kind of the raw elements. And you'll see this recurring pattern. Actually, I was impressed with analyzing these of just how stripped back it is. There's almost nothing playing right before the drop. That creates the rhythm of the vocal, and the emptiness of the rest of it creates the contrast and the rhythm that makes it so good. So second song is Wonka Bar Million. Give you a quick hit of this one. Let's go from here. So there's a bit more going on in this one. I took some more notes. We got the filtered kick and bass thing happening again, as in every minimal deep house track. There's a cool synth that sends kind of like musically here. It's like a downshifter. You hear like the whole track open up with the reverb and then a little bit of delay added. There's that typical sustained string is going on underneath that pad. Pad, that's very typical in house music to have that string that sustains through a breakdown in order to maintain the sort of suspense and keep you knowing that something's coming. When the kick stops, it's replaced by a breakbeat, I noticed. So the kick, so let's play this. There's a single hit, and then the break loop comes in here. So it's contrast, it's keeping the rhythm going, it's variety. And then there's a filter that sweeps through the cymbal, gives it some motion, some more suspense. And then also, amazed at actually how much is actually going on with all the A and B call and response going on. There's some lone hits in here with the cymbal and the kick, like right here I marked it. So that gives you the crash. It's just kind of hits, which is almost like a false drop. And then a swell, some kind of noise or riser. Obviously, it's kind of common in this type of music. Oh, and a really nice echo. And again, it's the vocal doing the most of the work. But look at how empty this is. So anyway, love the echo that covers the space, and then the vocal that creates the drop.
You want to play it like that?
That little extra kick hit gives it kind of finality and emphasizes the silence in a way, because there's nothing playing after that. It's all the reverbs and stuff is tailed off. So you can obviously do this ghost arrangement for the entire song, is super useful. And what's cool, as we'll get to in a minute, like you now have almost a template. You can fill this in with your own parts, which is what I did. And you'll see in a minute, but I used this Odd Goblin track, which is very similar to that last one, that it gets a lot going on, but there's contrast by virtue of the reverbs. Kick and bass are filtered again. What else can we listen for? So, yeah, this was an interesting thing. I noticed that the elements that were in there are more sustained. The synth notes get held longer. And then it's got cool use of some reverse claps, and again the echo to kind of keep the rhythm going as it fades to nothing. And I never know when to leave my texture running, so I was noting that the texture is turned off. So again, love the vocal drum fill right at the end. But this song is amazing because of all the little synths back and forth. There's also a moving filter through a top loop. That's super cool because it's using like an element of the song or just a hi-hat loop as a riser. There's a pad filter. It's another way of kind of creating that anticipation of the same as the sustained string, except that with the pad being filtered, you're anticipating it coming back. When it does come back, it builds the suspense and the anticipation of the track. Not rocket science, but when I'm in there taking a loop and breaking it down, it's really nice to have a list of things and ideas to look at. Or in fact, you can really quite closely copy this, right? Make your breakdown the same length, remove the elements, try and copy the motion of the filters, and your sounds will be completely different. So you get a similar effect with different sounds. And that's what I did in this track I'm going to open up next. Okay, so this is my original track. It has actual real sounds, actual real channels, with my sounds in them. I've got Odd Goblin in here as a rough reference for where the break begins and ends, and also mostly as a mix reference, so I can compare back and forth with that as I'm going to make sure my mix sounds similar. But otherwise, I've picked completely different notes, completely different instruments, and just tried to create the same effect. So this one I can actually play the whole thing, but I've tried to add reverbs through the break, have something carrying the beat. I added, I kept the A and Bs going with the synths. I actually added a pad to this after listening to Odd Goblin and realizing, there actually is a pad in there. So completely new and different, but very inspired by that awesome breakdown. obviously you can see here I haven't finished this track yet, but this is the core of it. This is what I always struggle with. It's where I think the most exciting part of the track is in this breakdown and drop. So this time I thought, let me just start with that, get all 45 channels going, make this as absolutely good as possible, and then it should be easy to extend this either side and make a complete track out of it. This is Looking for Love by Leon the Lover, coming soon to a Beatport near you.